Tonight he sings, he dances, but he also gives back to the community. Mika stops in for a chat. Hi everybody and welcome to Gay Talk tonight. My guest is a very well-rounded performer. He dances, he sings and he acts. His name is Mika. Now that's not to be confused with the British singer of the same name. Tonight the Kiwi Mika talks about what he's doing for the Auckland Pride Festival and what he does to give back to our rainbow communities. Mika is a performer who's hard to define. He's been in films, entertained royalty and appeared in dozens of TV shows in New Zealand. He's made his mark in cabaret and theatre, and he's created an artistic trust to empower young Māori youth. He's returning to his cabaret roots during the Auckland Pride Festival with a new show called Salon Mika. Mika, fantastic to see you. It's been quite a long time. Welcome.
Kia ora koe, namahi mō te kaupapa o te rā. I'm very happy to be here. It has been a long time. I think, if I remember rightly, it was almost last century that we did our last Queer Nation together. I'm pretty sure it was last century almost, or maybe early millennium.
I was actually reminiscing about the old hero parades that the Pride Festival has taken over from now, and the festivals. And I remember seeing you with the Uhuras. You had a cabaret show.
Yep.
And you sang one of my favourite songs of all time, which is Marina.
Aquamarina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is from, was it Stingray?
Stingray.
Yeah.
It was about the little mute deaf puppet, Marina, who swam. And that was the early 90s. Someone said to me, you should do the song. And I went, and I'd always kind of liked it. And let's face it, it's a pretty camp icon type song. It's oddly enough, it's now too old as far as repertoire to sing now, because it's like a whole new generation just don't know it. I probably have to sing Jim and the I'm Jim and whatever they're called these days, or a Twilight song, or a Twilight song.
Yeah, but those old songs, they have a certain something about them, don't they? You know?
Well, it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
I think our gay culture has changed so much from in our time, and of course from people who have passed on, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that's changed. And we did a lot of that stuff, of course, because we had to hold on to it. Now, because of things like this today, you can record and the whole world can see this. So there's a new way that we are remembering, but also forgetting where we came from. So this stuff's quite important.
Now, the Pride Festival this year, you've got Salon Mika. So just tell me what that's about. You're back on stage.
Yes, Salon Mika is my first cabaret show. Ooh, could be in the last decade. Because I've been doing rather large extravaganzas. I did the $500,000 Aroha Mardi Gras a couple of years ago with 780 performers. Before that, I did the Aroha Festival itself with Paul, with the APO Orchestra. So they've been big shows. This is my first smaller show for touring. So, and the show is, it's kind of, the best way to describe the show is you're going to come and be entertained. That's not even in question. But what I'm looking for now is how we communicate and touch. What we've done is we know a lot about everything. You can Google anything you want now, but we don't actually know about anything. So there's a lot of stuff about sexuality, age, race, size, skinny, all these things, people being alone, people finding a connection. Where do we find connections now? Is it just on Facebook, or do we actually go out and meet people? So it's about connecting older generations with this, as you know, large younger generation I have coming together. And so there's a whole bunch of questions that I'm trying to answer, or at least when people leave, ask questions. Yeah, actually, why do I spend all day on Facebook waiting for someone to message me? Why do I always have to have my phone with me? Why when I go out do I no longer see anybody? I just stay there when I go to the mall, I do this, I text, but I no longer see anyone. So
it is interesting, that, isn't it? I've talked to a few people about this social phenomenon now, where if I like something on Facebook, I've dealt with that person.
That's it.
And yet I'm not having this face-to-face interaction.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so a lot of this in Salon Mika is about that. And then the whole sexuality has changed. Once upon a time, as you remember very well, you were gay or you were straight, and we hated bisexuals. Well, I didn't ever hate bisexuals, but I know there was an anti-bisexual. We were suspicious of bisexuals. But even back then, they were probably more gay, to be honest. Come on, let's be real. Back then, it probably lent that way. But we didn't like it because we knew they could leave us. That's a real reason. And I remember a bunch of lesbian years ago, Nahuia, and all those staunch lesbians getting very angry about it, and I don't blame them. Now, sexuality is so much more organic. In my charitable trust work, I've got young people who I would identify as gay, but have girlfriends now. Or they don't ever go to some of the gay venues. They go out with their mates in Manurewa and hang out there. So the world's changed so much in that respect. So years ago, we had to be gay, had to be straight. So in this show, you won't know if Megan Alatini, the pop star, you won't know what she is. And then even if I'm with a woman, why is Mika with a woman? It's like once upon a time too, as you remember, some of the gay men went straight, and we didn't like them either. We'd go, But now, to me, especially things like marriage and all these other things, to me it's way more about individual connections. If you love someone who's plus size and you're the hottest thing in the world, that's your thing. If someone older, younger, brown, black, love is such an organic thing, and there's too many constraints, way too many constraints morally on who we are and what we are. So yes, there's going to be fun and humour, of course, in my shows, and very sexy dancers and very sexy girls and burlesque, but amongst all that, these moments kind of come in.
Obviously, you're a showman, you're very good at self-promoting, and you're out there, but you also give back, which is another thing that's impressed me, because you've done a lot of stuff to empower young people, and particularly, what's your philosophy behind that?
What I've learnt from my teachers, Meritamita, Dalvanius, the late John Draper, is you get to a point in your life where you can only be so fabulous. Because one day you wake up, I was in Liverpool and I woke up, the fabulous Mika's in town, and I kind of looked at it and went, is that the summing up of what my existence is about? And then I came back here early millennium, and I came back to get 10 young dancers to take back to Europe for this tour. They were smoking, their diets were appalling. There was one of the women was getting beaten up by a boyfriend. It just went on and on and on and on. So I said, well, I can't change this in my business. It just, no business can afford this. So I set up these charitable trusts to support them. And then it just grew from there and there and there. Now it's massive. The mikahakafoundation.com, which you can look up, has programs free in 12 low decile schools throughout Auckland. We have free holiday programs. We've now got our own gym set up. We're doing local. That's the health work. The sexuality work is equally just important. So it's also about bringing people together. I mean, I'm very big on everything Māori with a multicultural focus. I probably always have been, to be honest, but now I don't pretend. So we have Indian doing a haka. We've even had Muslim. We've had the whole spectrum. And like some of these Muslim people don't really like gay, and some of the Christians don't like gay, but I go, that's okay, but can you respect individuals? And so I'm going from that perspective, because I think maybe that's how I can create some kind of change. They don't like the gay lifestyle, whatever the hell the gay lifestyle is. I still don't know what a gay lifestyle is, but anyway, apparently there is one. Yeah. But they tend to like me, and I go, okay, so you can like me. Can you like those two white gay men over there holding hands? And they have to just look at it and think. And it takes a long time. And so the work is really all about that. But you get to a point, honestly, there's only so many individual shows, there's only so many TV programs, there's only so many films, there's only so many records, and one day you wake up and go, is that it? I mean, I'd love to see Madonna. I know she does do a lot of charity, but I feel like she's at that stage of her life where she could start developing. I mean, if I was giving, I think you have to. I think most great performers, or people I consider great, are giving back a lot more than just taking. Self-promoting is just part of the job. I learned it so long ago that it was just part of me. And I mean, I'm here today. Kia ora, here we go. But you have to, it's part of the job.
Do you have any thoughts on what it takes to have a happy, fulfilled, successful kind of life?
It's interesting. There are two types of successful, isn't there? There's career successful, which I can honestly say I'm very, very happy and grateful for the career I've had as this Māori gay thing I always wanted to be. I think happiness is an odd thought. I think contentment and the ability to be alone and enjoy being alone is a skill. And it's something you have to learn through time. Giving, The most time I'm fulfilled is when I give. I'm not so fulfilled when like, this would be lovely being on TV or I get another magazine or something. I don't have that. Oh, that's gone. I can tell you, that's gone. That's what I do. But when I see one of the ones I've worked with happy with what they're doing, amazing, I've done this, I've released a song, I've done a new dance, I've started eating apples, I'm drinking water instead of that fizzy drink, that is fulfillment. It's true, you give away, it comes back.
Mika, thank you so much. Been a real pleasure having you here. Don't forget to catch my daily editions of Gay Talk Tonight, which are covering the Auckland Pride Festival. You can watch those on gaytalktonight.com. The standard edition of Gay Talk Tonight will be back next Sunday. I'll see you then.